All right, before I move on with last night's fight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, it was pretty hard, cringing, hard to watch. I didn't watch all of it. I just seen clips because I didn't was too busy watching other programs and channels too. But I'm gonna cover it. It's hard to see Iron Mike Tyson go down as the number one, the heavyweight champion. He was a beast back in the late 80s, early 90s. And to watch him seemed like he was like, he's getting old. Let's just put it that way. He's old. And to be at 58, almost 60, fighting against a young lion like Jake Paul, he is young. He's big. I wouldn't say he's a professional boxer, but he's got contender. He's got the skills and the passion, as well as the hard drive to become a professional boxer. But he is a YouTube professional boxer. He's a YouTube star. But I give him that. He's a very good promoter. But I'm going to do a reaction video with the Pain Game with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. And even he said himself it was the saddest boxing match ever. So I'm going to do a reaction while I commentate in between segments while he gives him his 2 cents, excuse me, about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Let's check it out. Oops, hold on a second. Let me put on a microphone. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to edit this out later on. Maybe not, I don't know. Sometimes it gives it a little bit of a so-called je ne sais quoi flair, because I'm giving you pretty much the behind the scenes, but we'll see.
As you know, a kid who couldn't lace the fucking boots of Mike Tyson, you know what I mean?
Okay, let's go. Let's go check it out.
Welcome back to the Pain Game, and yeah, this one really puts the pain in Pain Game, because that was a painful watch.
Yeah, it was painful.
Mike Tyson, at 58 years old, loses to Jake Paul. It's just so wrong, isn't it? It would have been wrong a decade ago, but it was bloody really wrong. It was sad. It was sad seeing a man who used to fly around that ring, brutalising anyone who would stand in his way. In there with a kid who
was a monster.
Yeah, I've been a supporter of Jake's boxing career up till now, but this is something I just can't fuck with, as you know. A kid who couldn't lace the fucking boots of Mike Tyson, you know what I mean? And he's just sort of having his way with him, playing with him. Just sad, because Mike Tyson was really a great fighter.
He was.
As Jake rightly said, he was very fortunate to even share the ring with him, but like, he didn't deserve it. Like, if we're being brutally honest, you know, in terms of ability, Jake didn't deserve it, but he got there through business, and I get that. For people like me who value what boxing is supposed to be about, right? The reason I had a whinge about Tyson Fury not fighting the best that time, I care about competition.
Okay, I'm gonna pause up, but I have to agree with the reaction on the Pain Game that boxing is a business, but Jake Paul is a master crafter of promoting his craft of being a so-called boxer, but he's a YouTube star who got into boxing. Does he have a potential to become a good boxer? Yeah, he does. But he has. But you have to be born into boxing since you're a little kid, and then work your way up to the ranks. And for him to be a boxer and just coming out of the YouTube world, just no, because you develop the skills as you progress and you get older and become wiser and better at your craft. But as a fan of boxing, since I was a little kid, when I used to watch it with my dad and my brothers, when it was free on Sunday nights, when we used to watch Sugar Ray Leonard's Hitman Hearns and all the greats back in the day, late 70s, early 80s, when you're just a little toddler. I loved it, and it was enjoyable to watching two men out there just beating the living crap of each other, both skills though. But anyway, let's proceed what he has to say.
They're about fair fights, and there was nothing fair about this. It's not what boxing's about. It's about two fighters of similar ability, training really hard, finding out who the better man is. They're not of similar ability. Mike Tyson's one of the most gifted fighters ever created.
True.
Jake Paul...
Absolutely.
Who knows how good he is? He fought one actual boxer and he lost that fight. We don't know how good he is. That's up to him to prove. Because he's certainly not done it last night, has he? And everything I said about this fight coming into it was unfortunately proven true. And I wanted to be wrong. Mike Tyson had a youthful, energetic, athletic style. There's some heavyweights who are just 6'6", big long reach, and just powerhouses. They don't need the same level of athleticism to close the distance and whatnot. They rely on other things that take longer to deteriorate, such as size and power. Mike Tyson relied on speed, reflexes, quick feet,
strength,
quick hands, pure athleticism and explosive energy. And that's one of the reasons why Mike's candle burned so bright, but burned out quickly. And this is why I couldn't understand the people who are getting swept away in the mystique and the aura of Mike Tyson. It's like, did you not watch the end of it?
That's true, but when you're watching Mike Tyson back in the late 80s, early 90s, Mike Tyson could only last 1 to 5 rounds. No more than 5, because he'd always, like, gas out. But he was strong, powerful, and quick in his first, second, and third rounds, because he usually knocks out his opponents on the first round. Second, third, and then he just totally dismantles him after third or fourth. But anything after that is when he gets troubled, because his longevity, his stamina is not as long as his short, quick reflexes and his power punches from the beginning, from the beginning of first, second, and third rounds. So Mike Tyson is a powerhouse. There's never going to be anyone like him. Probably never ever will, because of his power, strength, agility, and as well as his true brute force of just being a gifted boxer. But for all you youngies out there who so-called think about boxing, do your homework on Mike Tyson's greatest hits. Check that out. You'll understand why. But okay, check it out.
Career. Because you go back, he was done a long time before he actually retired. So I don't know where this belief came from that a 58-year-old man could cheat medical science, like, and all of a sudden, perform the way he used to. I get the pad videos, but I said, he's not having to move. The pads are right there. The pads aren't hitting him back, and they're really close to him. And I pointed out that the fact that towards the end of his career, in his second last fight, he blew his knee out then, and now he's training with a knee brace on. Not to mention the fact we've seen him in a wheelchair at an airport not long ago. How on earth is he going to have the legs to do this? And people who train boxing, even if you've never done it at a high level, just like me, just low-level shit, you realise when you start training boxing, oh shit, it's not just about these, it's about the feet as well, just as much. And if you can't travel to the destination, then your delivery system is worthless. And even as limited as a boxer as Jake Paul is compared to the talent of Mike Tyson, he's 27. This should never have happened. Mike's legs look like fucking Joe Biden in there. And God bless him, he tried. He fucking tried. But the guy has no business being in the boxing ring anymore. He's a legend. He should be sitting at the table with Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, and all them other icons, saying, look what we did in the past. Like, I'm glad he got paid, but I just feel bad about this. And look, the one chance Mike was ever going to have was if Jake stood there early on and traded with him. And that's exactly what I said he wouldn't do. And that's exactly what he didn't do, because he's not an idiot. As for all I'm saying, Mike's legs were gone, and they were, his hands still looked fairly quick for a 58-year-old especially, and fairly heavy. But Jake was nowhere to be seen. He was gliding around that ring, because them 2-minute rounds are nothing for a 27-year-old. I think Mike landed a good job in the first round, and whenever, you get closer, Jake would clinch with him, and Jake just picked them apart after that at distance. And every single time Mike would show any ambition, any aggression, Jake was on his bike away and well out of the way. And kind of disappointing, because I'm thinking, you've picked a 58-year-old, the least you can do is give him a fucking chance. But I get it. He's guaranteeing himself an easy win. Not respectable. Do you know what I mean? Like, it isn't, is it? It's not something anyone's coming away going, wow, Jake Paul. No one fucking respects this. Not one person in the world. Don't care what anyone says. No one respects this. Mike couldn't get near.
Well, I wouldn't say no one respected the young kids up who are the YouTubers who follow Jake. He's got, like, I don't know, millions of followers on his social media. They respect him. But the boxing world, no, not so much, because we have a skilled, crafted, kind of, withered old lion fighting against an up-and-coming lion who says he's a boxer. And I have nothing against Jake Paul. He's an entertaining guy. I like watching his fights, actually. And he's got good potential to become a good fighter if he sticks to boxing. not just the social media aspect, but boxing. He just puts his heart and soul in boxing, actually box. But can't be a part-time boxer. You have to be a full-time boxer. You gotta live, breathe the sport, whatever sport you're in. So, but anyway, let's proceed.
And he faded within a few rounds, just exactly as I said he would. Jake hurt Mike multiple times. There was points where it was really hard to watch, you know, where there was a couple of left hooks that went in, I think in round 3, and you were like, fucking hell. Mike just looked shook. And this is what happens. We've seen with Evander Holyfield, the way he took punches now. You can't take the same level of damage. To be fair to Mike, though, and I think the 14-ounce gloves might have helped him a little bit. He took the shots well in terms of he kept going.
Actually,
he
didn't go down. He didn't go down.
Something he can be proud of. And Jake just fought such a sensible fight in pacing himself. People are saying, you know, why didn't you unload the clip? Jake Paul's never fought at like 230 nearly. Like that's a heavy weight for him to be carrying around. Luckily for him, he's in there with a guy whose gas tank is totally fucked. I think he was just like, let me just take my time with this guy. I'm not going to do anything crazy. He did everything at range. And he picked his spots, and he just gave Mike no fucking chance in hell. And honestly, it was a boring fight for that reason, because you just knew there was no danger. Like, Jake was never going to take the risk. Mike couldn't close the distance to actually really connect with anything serious. I think he landed one decent shot, which sort of was on the neck at one point, which almost caught Jake properly. But other than that, he really struggled to land anything of any significance, Mike. He'd usually start the rounds a little bit trying to go after him, but then his legs would just give out, and he'd just be stood there waiting to be hit. It's just like, fuck me. What the fuck is this? I'll never watch it again. I will never watch it again. No way. It's just miserable even fucking thinking about it, to be honest. And Jake was hurting Mike consistently throughout the fight, but Mike was doing his best just to stay in there and keep behaving like a fighter does and not get, you know, show too much weakness. And then in the final round, I think Jake was hurting Mike repeatedly, and he just got to a point where he thought, you know what, I've cooked him, I've slow cooked him here, and the distance was in sight, and I think he just thought, you know what, I'm going to let him see the end of this. I'm not really going to give him credit for that, because, you know, you've just beaten up a fucking 58-year-old. What am I going to do? Give you credit because you didn't do it that badly? Like, it's not really that honourable, but I was pleased that Mike Tyson seen the fucking final bell, because just for his own manly pride, you know what I mean, just say, yeah, I fucking stayed in there with him, I didn't go down, and I tried my best. And that's basically what Mike said at the end. There was some people suggesting that Jake carried Mike throughout the fight, and I've got a little ringside footage here to show like how intense it really was there, because ringside mobile footage is pretty good for that. I mean, that looks pretty intense, to be fair. Yeah. I think a lot of the time Jake's not planting his feet, which is why the power shots aren't quite as. I mean, that was a big one. He tried for that one, but when you're not planting your feet because you're constantly careful about what's coming back, you see everything is he's in and out a lot of the time. It's not maximum power, but Jake definitely landed some huge shots on Mike. So to say he carried him, I don't think is legit. Jake was trying to hurt Mike Tyson there, without a doubt. I think he was just very clever in the game plan, very careful with giving Mike any chance whatsoever, and then at the end he thought, all right, I'll let you see the decision. But it wasn't like Floyd Mayweather used to like carries people in fucking exhibitions. It wasn't like that. But much like Floyd Mayweather, this was a bank robbery. It was one of those fights that you put on, you give everyone a whole bunch of hope that you might finally get your comeuppance, and you give them a hero to support, kind of like what Floyd did with Conor McGregor, really. Yeah. And then you cash in. And that's exactly what Jake Paul did here. And if anything, what Jake did is worse than Floyd, because Floyd, a lot of the time when he would do these band jobs, it would be like against world-class opposition, but he would just know he would be too good for them. Jake just convinced people that he was against world-class opposition because we had all this data of Mike from when he was young. But we all knew he wasn't. So if anything, he might be smarter than Floyd, because he's selling Floyd tickets and doing Floyd money against a fucking 60-year-old. As much as I dislike this, it was a genius move in terms of money-wise. He's made a fortune from fighting an old man who hasn't had a proper fight in 30 years. It's insane, and I don't like it. But I can also say, if your goal is to make a shitload of money, well, you did that, didn't you? The issue is in the other things that boxers care about, which probably not as much as money, but respect. A lot of boxers have egos, 99% of them. That's why I piss some of them off. They want that level of respect that they think that they're owed. Well, Jake Paul is never, ever going to get any respect continuing down this road. I think at one point, when he was the YouTube kid, and we were seeing him go in there against MMA fighters, he was getting respect because people didn't think for 1 second he could hang with them. Now he's shown the level he's on, and people have gotten used to that, and they're like, okay, well, show us something different. He's not. He's been picking undersized, old MMA dudes who he knows he can outbox easily, and has now picked a 60-year-old legend. None of that is going to get him any respect. And if he doesn't care about respect, he can keep on doing this. The problem is sort of the jig is up now. You can only run this kind of bank job on the public once or twice. People are going to need to see him fight an actual test at some point. And we've seen before how that went with Tommy Fury. He needs to write that at the very least, or he needs to fight someone who actually poses any threat to him, who's actually a boxer, who's actually not ancient. Because it's leaving a bad taste in the mouth of the people, and it can't be what Jake wants to be known for the rest of his career. There's all of this talk about world title this, Canelo that, but the actions speak way louder than the words, and the action says, I want easy fights for as much money as I can make. Now, in that sense, he's not that much different to some fighters out there who, like John Jones, for example. But the level of ease, it's just ridiculous at this point, and it needs a level of validity and some real talent in front of him who actually can hurt him, because I think people are just going to switch off. And that might sound silly when he's just had one of the biggest events ever in boxing, but it was one of the biggest because it was Mike Tyson's comeback after 30 years. The one before that was against Mike Perry, and it did fuck all pay-per-views. I think it got like 50,000 pay-per-views, if that. It was shockingly low. Really? And it did horribly. Because
I didn't watch that one.
Mike Perry was in any way a threat to Jake Paul. And that shows that it was catching up with him. Netflix did him a real favour here, in my opinion. And Mike helped that a lot, obviously. And like I said, I've supported Jake's boxing career because I was around at the very beginning. I, commentated on his first fight, etc., etc. But there comes a point where, for us to be supporting you any further, you have to do stuff that's honourable, and this isn't honourable in my opinion, and I don't appreciate it. I don't want to say anything like this ever again, because the reality is, as much as Jake is totally right in saying that he's one of the faces of boxing, he absolutely is. We can't take that away from him now. I'm not hating on it. I'm just trying to be as truthful as I can be. When you line Jake Paul up with all the other faces of boxing, he's the least respected by a mile. If I'm him, I want to put that right as best as I can. And now he's made enough money that he should be able to take some more chances in future. Because in terms of talent to money made, Jake Paul is the best salesman in boxing history. He's made some of the most amount of money with the least talent shown, right? Maybe he's got more talent than what I've seen. I don't know. Again, he's not getting in there with people who can threaten him. So who the fuck knows? But surely at some point you want to answer the question, how good am I actually? Or do you want to be known as someone who bullied people who are older than you, smaller than you, less skilled? And is that what you want to be known for? Or do you not give a fuck? Do you just want all the money? We're going to find out, because again, all the talk about world titles and Canelo, it's all talk. Let's see what the actions are, because the next fight, for me, is so crucial to Jake Paul's credibility. If he doesn't take on someone threatening and serious in the next fight, the boxing community, I think, are just going to go, yeah, all right then. Where's the intrigue now? Because there's been too many fights sold that just weren't worth watching now. In terms of Netflix's first go at it, I thought they did a really good first show. I know some people had issues with their stream. I didn't, to be fair to them, but a lot of people did, and that's something they'll have to put right if they do more of this. And, hopefully they do. It's good to see, another platform in the boxing game, and hopefully that adds something to it. But good visuals, I like the angles they chose from the camera, and the graphics were really nice. I thought they did a great job on the graphics. I really didn't like the commentary. No disrespect, but I hated it. I fucking hated it. The main thing for me is that Mike goes home to his family safe and sound, and he's made a nice chunk of change, and hopefully he never feels the need to do this again. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the Pain Game YouTube channel, because now we're back to real fighting. We got the UFC, we got Usyk versus Fury coming up for Riyadh season later this year. What a banger. That is what I'm talking about. The best versus the best. That's the kind of boxing events I'm interested in. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll catch you on the next one.
All right, I like watching the Pain Game. He knows what he's talking about, and he loves boxing. I love boxing. If you have a passion for boxing, go for it, man. But I love his commentating. He's very good at what he does. And now I'm giving you my 2 cents on what I think about his reaction of the reaction of Mike Tyson to Jake Paul. But Jake Paul is all about money. Like Money Mayweather. It's all about money. Money Mayweather, very skillful. I think he's a boring boxer. Rodriguez even says it himself. A lot of boxers have things. A lot of people don't. But when he was younger, he was quick. He was fast. But now that he's older, he's much more wiser when it comes to punching and jabbing his opponents, and he loves to clinch. And boxing is not all about clinching and running around and then doing pot shots. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Now that Money Mayweather is all about money now, it's all about entertainment. like the quote from the Gladiator. Win the crowd and you win your freedom. You're not entertained. The whole idea is people give you money to entertain, and to me, Jake Paul is an entertainer. He's a great salesman. He's a great promoter. I think he has a great future in promoting. I don't know how long this is gonna last because he's only in his 20s, so he's got lots of years left. But in the boxing game, the fighting game, people will call you out, and watching this fight, I can't. It was hard to watch. I only see clips, and the clips that I seen was very hard to watch. But I will see it again through beginning to end once the footage comes out on the other channels, and I'll definitely check it out. Definitely wasn't worth the pay-per-view if you guys pay-per-viewed it and whatever, but I will definitely go watch and dissect it. I'm just going for my 2 cents of seeing the clips that I seen, and it was not. It was very heart crunching to watch Iron Mike Tyson to just sit there and get a couple punches in from Jake Paul, and his. It's just very tough to watch. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that is my 2 cents on the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight last night. I will definitely give an A+ for Jake Paul to actually getting up there to watch or to fight Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson, who was loved by the world, was also feared by the world, but also had a lot of demons in his past, and through his trials and tribulation, he went through a lot in his life as well too, and he's still victorious, is still alive, and still loves doing. But I think it's time for him to hang up the hoofs and finally realize that, okay, seek another avenue of boxing that might be a promoter, train athletes with your type of caliber. See young talents out there who are heavyweights that are up and coming, and become a great promoter of the sport, because it is kind of dying ever since Pacquiao has retired, and Mayweather and all the greats as well too. So you want to bring boxing back up to its standards, because to me boxing is kind of hard to watch because it's not really the flair that I'm a Pacquiao fan, so when you see Pacquiao fighting and dominating the ring for so long, and he's lasting from first round to 9 to 12 round, it's a battle. Face is just being scarred, getting knocked down and getting back up. Is his motto too. And even though he lost about 7 fights, he was loved by the world. And he was a fascinating boxer to watch. He was skilled, quick, fast, hard hitting, and very entertaining. So, and for him to retire, I feel like boxing is kind of like losing its luster, and needs some up and young talents out there to go out there and start promoting and seeing some really good boxing up and young guys up there. We need more. We need more knockouts, first round, second round, like that. We need more of that for a younger audience to see that, hey, this is a good sport. Just like the MMA, MMA is gonna last forever, because when it first came out, it was kind of like underground, watching Hoist Gracie and Dan Severn and all the other greats out there. Was first to watch. It was pretty incredible, and it's like, wow, it's a new fighting game. You know what I mean? And then when it became broadcast around the world, then it became. Now we know that the MMA is for real. It's a brutal game. It's a battle game, and you know what I mean. So you want boxing to stay and get up there again, and be watchable from the new up and coming young kids who want to pursue boxing and get into that sport. And when you see that, you'll enjoy it. Because when I was a kid, I enjoyed it a lot, watching with my dad. Back in the early 70s. Look at how I am, how old I am. But when it was free back then, watching all the greats, it was amazing how men go up there and just brutally just battle each other too. And yeah, it was like 15 rounds a fight. You know what I mean? And I think it was 5 minutes rounds, or 4 or 5 minute rounds. But those were brutal, man. Those were real warriors. Now it's down to 3 minutes and 12 rounds. So goes to show how it evolved. Now, well, first of all, boxers were dying, getting hit, head to the blows, and just dying left and right. So they had to change things around. So I think the third 12 rounds and 3 minute, 12 round fights and 3 minute rounds are a safe road, which is a good bet to keep the boxing game safe and secure, and for new up and comer boxers out there to enjoy the sport and to excel the sport. And now there's women as well too. So I'm gonna check out the women's boxers. It's also enjoyable to watch it, but it's pretty brutal when you have a pretty face and women out there that are pretty much killing each other as well too. So it's pretty brutal. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. And watching the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight and the reaction of one of the podcasters as well on the Pain Game, and I appreciate his insight. I do watch his channel, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video, next podcast, and I'll see what I'll do. I'm also doing the paranormal as well too. Check out my channel. I've more than just stick to one genre. I like to jog around and watch other channels, and if I find anything interesting, I will talk about it and do my 2 cents and react as well too on the paranormal, sports, films, documentaries, and all that good stuff. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I'll have more videos coming very shortly. Bye for now. God bless, Godspeed, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Bye for now.